Alright, hello everyone, how are you doing so far? This is week 4, and let's skip to Unit 5 Polynomial, and we'll leave Unit 4 Trigonometry in September. Alright, now for this unit, first you need to know some terminology for vocabulary. You probably already know. Monomial, for example, right, is either a number or just a variable, let's say x, right, it's a number, let's say it's 5, or a product of the two, like for example 5x. Or like 2xy squared, you can have multiple variables, or like negative 1/3 z cubed. Okay, so that's a polynomial. That's a monomial. Also, the exponent here has to be a whole number. Now, the polynomial is just a sum or difference of monomial. Just have more than one monomial, then it's a polynomial. And a degree is the hardest concept. Okay, a degree of a monomial is the sum of the exponents of its variables. If there's only one variable, then it's the exponent, so it's 5. And then when there are two variables in a monomial in one term, then it's the sum of the exponent, so 2 plus 3 is also 5. Or when there are 3 variables, you add the exponent together. Well, the first one doesn't have an exponent, but it is not nothing, it is 1. So 1 plus 2 plus 2 is 5. So all the examples here have degree of 5. That's what the degree is. And when you look at the degree of a polynomial, it's the degree of the term with the highest degree. So polynomial is a list of monomial adding or subtracting together. So you go through each one and take the one with the highest degree, and that's the degree of the whole polynomial. I'll show you some example. Now you can also have a polynomial with degree 0, which means you have a variable with degree 0, while anything to degree 0 is 1, which means there's no variables. Then that term is called a constant term. So the number term in a polynomial is a constant term. And then the leading coefficient is the first term, the term with the highest power, and then there's the number in front of its coefficient, which means the number in front of it is the leading coefficient. So let's look at some example. Okay, so go through those terminology. You can pause and go through the definition, and then we can look at some example. It's very easy to learn from example. Now the following are list of polynomial expression. All right, number of variables. So there's only one variables here, which is y is the variables. Here a, b, x, c. There are total 4 different variables. There's no variables here. X, y, z, so there are 3 variables. Okay, so those are variables. Now, number of terms. Okay, terms are separated by plus or minus sign, so there are 4 terms here. There are 3 terms here. There's only 1 terms here. There are 1, 2. There are 2 terms here. Okay, now all these are called polynomial. That's a general term. Polynomial with only 1 term is called monomial, and then with 2 terms is called binomial. And then 3 terms is called trinomial, and then 4 plus or is just simply called polynomials. Okay, so what's the degree? Okay, well here just a number, degree 0. Okay, binomial, you look at the degree of each term. 3 plus 1 plus 5, the degree here is 9. 2 plus 1 plus 4 is 7. You take the highest degree, so it's 9. Okay, degree here 1 and 2, so 1 1 is 2. 1 1, you take the highest, is 2. Here the highest degree is 4. Okay, so degree of a polynomial is the degree of the highest term, like the one with the highest degree, the coefficient of the term with the highest degree. Okay, let's look at another example. Now when you talk about the leading coefficient in a constant term, you need to put them in a descending order. Okay, descending order from its degree. Okay, so degree 4, degree 1, degree 0. So it is in a descending order. Degree 3, degree 2, degree 1, degree 0, it is in descending order. The term without a variable is degree 0. Here, it is not in a descending order. So let's rearrange it. Okay, and when you rearrange it, make sure you come with the term. This negative sign belongs to x6. So don't miss that. And what is root 5? But there's no sign here. It's assumed to be positive. Okay, so let's put them in descending order. And then here, this is the one with the highest degree. Pi is just a number, so degree is still 2. This is the second term. See, I copied the negative sign. This is the third term. You see when I underlined it, I also included the sign in front of it. The sign is part of that term. Finally, there's only one term here, so it is in descending order. Alright, so therefore, the leading coefficient is the coefficient of the highest term. Okay, because you put it in the descending order, then it will be the one in the front. So here, there's no number there, but if you say what number are there, it is positive 1. Here is 0.2. Here is negative 1. Okay, sign is important, don't ignore it. Here is pi, alright. Here, this is my term, and this, don't ignore the sign, is my leading coefficient. The coefficient is the number in front of the variables. If you don't have a variable, it's just a number by itself, then there's no, it's not a coefficient. Okay, constant term. Constant term is the last term when you put it in descending order. Okay, then it's the term without the variables. So here, positive 13, negative 0.05, don't forget the negative, positive root 5, negative 7. The last one, tricky. What's the last term? There isn't one. So 0, the constant term is 0. This is the same as adding zeros. Okay, so it's no constant term. Degrees, just look at the first term here, the descending order 4. This is 3. This has a 6 here. This has a 2, and finally this has a 2. So that's the degree. Okay, now so this whole chapter is about polynomial, and then we're moving on. I want to finish this within 15 minutes. Then we'll have a nice and easy lesson. Okay, so we need to know how to add and subtract polynomial. You learned it in younger grade. And then we'll start multiplying monomial with polynomial, multiplying binomial with binomial, and then multiplying polynomial, and the exercise are there at the back. Okay, so let's add them. Okay, the rule is you can only add or subtract like terms. Like terms mean the variables part are exactly the same. The variables and the exponent have to be exactly the same. Okay, so look at this expression. I want to add this with that. Okay, what can be combined? Only the like terms can be combined. X squared is one term, 3x squared. So how many x squared are there? You have 1x squared, adding 3x squared in total, you have 4x squared. You're putting in descending order, so I go through them in descending order. Okay, here, negative 2x, negative 6x. How many x you have? You have negative 2x, and you have negative 6x. Together, you have negative 8x. Then you can add them. Only like terms you can add. Finally, the constant term is the like term. Negative 3 plus 5 is positive 2. Beware of the sign. Okay. Now next one. This is tricky here. Put a star. Okay. When you have a negative in front of a bracket, which means this negative sign, you minus subtracting everything inside. So this minus every term inside. This negative distribute. Okay. So in here is a plus, the first example, so we can kind of ignore it, ignore the bracket. Here, the first step is let's remove the bracket. Here, nothing in front is a plus, you can just remove it. When you remove the bracket for the second expression, the negative applied to every term. So negative applied to positive 2x squared becomes negative 2x squared. Negative applied to positive 3x squared becomes negative 3x. And negative applied to negative 4, negative, double negative becomes positive. Here we go. Okay, so star, 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 don't make mistakes. Okay, very common knowledge in math. Now you can combine like terms. I have 1x squared, I have minus 2x squared. So 1x squared minus 2x squared, how many x squared do you have? You have minus 1x squared. So minus x squared. So think of x squared as apple. 1 apple minus 2 apple, you have negative 1 apple. Now, the next variable is negative 3x. No other thing, so just copy it. Finally, it's a constant term. Negative 3 plus 4 is 1. Okay, so that's the answer. Put them in descending order. That's the answer. Alright, so that's adding, subtracting polynomial. I think you learned that in younger grade. Now, let's move on to multiplying monomial and polynomial. We call that distribution. Okay, a monomial now multiplying with a polynomial. This is a trinomial. Okay, a monomial multiplying with trinomial. So you do it like this. I draw something called a rainbow to keep track of what happened when you multiply them. You multiply each term one by one. So 3x times x cubed is 3x4. Remember x and x3 is x4, right? You add the exponent. Alright, now number go with the number. 3x times negative 2x. 3 times the number is negative 6. X times x is x squared. Okay, you're multiplying. Okay, x times x is x squared, you multiply. If you're adding, x plus x is 2x. Okay, so don't confuse. X times x is x squared, x plus x is 2x. Now 3x plus times 1 is just 3x. Okay, here we go, not too hard. Okay, here, Badmus, right? Follow the order, do the bracket first, so see the rainbow help you keep track of what's going on. This is a plus sign, so that's easy. This plus 7, just multiply by that. Negative 2 times x, negative 2x. Negative 2 times positive 1, negative 2. Positive 7, see I say positive 7 because the next example we have negative, but put a star here. That's where people make mistake. Positive 7 times 3x, positive 21x. Positive 7 times negative 2 is negative 14. Okay, so pay attention to the sign. And now add the like terms together. Negative 2x plus 21x is 19x. Minus 2 minus 14 is minus 16. Okay, here, do the same thing. Distribute. Negative 6x plus 24. Here, star, star, star. Alright, you distribute. Okay, whenever there's a negative in front of the bracket, it's applied to every term in the bracket. So positive x become negative x, negative 15 become positive 15. It switch the sign. Okay, so I'll just finish it, and here is the answer. Okay, let's move on to skill number 3. When you multiply binomial and binomial together, we have something called FOIL. Okay, why is it called FOIL? Because you need to multiply each term with each term. The first term here, binomial, binomial, the first term multiply with this one, the first term multiply with that one. Then the second term multiply with that one, multiply with that one. Okay, so you multiply the first with the first, we call it F. You multiply the outer two number, O. You multiply the inner, I. You multiply the two last, FOIL. Okay, alright, let's do that. I'll do that in that order. X times 2x, 2x squared. X times 7, 7x. Negative 3 times 2x. Don't ignore the negative. Negative 3 times 7. Alright, now the middle term can be combined. Here is my final answer. Okay, and then let's do this again. You again do the FOIL. 4 times 3x. 4 times negative 4. Negative 6x times 3x. Okay, is negative x squared, and finally is positive 24x. Okay, now put them in descending order. There's square term first, okay, and then the x term, and then the constant term. Good. Now let's look at the next one. Okay, now the next one is special. 4x minus 5, 4x plus 5, 1 plus 1 minus. The binomial is the same, but 1 plus 1 minus. Let's see what's the result. But something very special going to happen. 4x times 4x is 16x squared. 4x times positive x, 5 is 20x. Negative 5 times 4x, negative 20x. Negative 5 times 5, negative 25. When you simplified it, the middle term cancel out. Interesting. Alright? So, when you multiply this binomial, you end up with just two terms. So, we have a name for this. We call this a difference of squares. This is a difference of two squares. See, all these are square. And then a pair of this is called a conjugate. So we come back to, we'll talk about this in next unit as well. Okay. So 1 plus 1 minus, when you multiply together, interesting thing is the middle terms, they cancel out, leaving just two terms. Now, look at the square. When you multiply this, don't say is 16x squared minus 25 plus, or even plus 25. No. Okay, big mistakes. Okay, when you square means you need to square it like this, and then when you FOIL, you notice you have some middle term, both of them negative 20, right? Because it's not 1 plus 1 minus in the conjugate case, then they cancel out here, both minus, then here is the answer. So be very careful. When you square a binomial, it's not a binomial, will be a trinomial. Alright, now I still have one more example, and my 15 minutes is up, so I'll just need to make another video, very short, don't worry, really short, 2-3 minutes, and I'll be done. Alright, so once again, we're learning about polynomial in this unit. Make sure you review the units and learn about how to multiply them. Be mindful of the minus sign and then the brackets. Alright, see you in the next video.